appreciate it. Well, one state that is benefiting from this data center boom is Texas. And tech giants like Google, Meta, and OpenAI are investing big in the Lone Star State. With concerns rising from energy experts, could this be too much of a good thing? I want to bring in Texas Congressman Pete Sessions. Congressman, great having you on the show because, the question for Texas, and I think for many of these states that we just talked about with Madison, is can you keep up with demand for these AI data centers? Is the power there?
Well, certainly it's a big question that Texas, not only from our Governor Greg Abbott, who has empowered not just members of Congress, but really all Texans to look at our need to, as what was said here, to double the amount of energy output that we have over the next 5 years. Well, now that closes into 3 years. And what has happened is that as this demand has grown and the understanding, Texas has stepped up and pledged $1 billion a year for infrastructure water projects. We also need water to keep these computers cool. We also need the infrastructure that allows large wires that can handle high capacity electricity to be in place and to be put in areas where they can be safely done. So we have land in Texas. We have what we call the Texas Triangle, and it starts just north of Dallas in Sherman, Texas, goes to San Antonio, straight through my home in Waco, Texas, straight down I-35. And there's abundant land that is available. We have resources with lakes and water. But what we're doing is working together. The governor has also indicated small nuclear. So we know that we are behind in the ability to, I would say, stay on target, but we believe we will be there and be ready. It's going to require a lot of work. It's going to require a lot of water, a lot of infrastructure, and then the ability that we have to produce the electricity.
Well, certainly, if you can get these data centers built out and get these projects underway, I'm sure that the governor of Texas will be there to make sure that the energy is available. I want to move on to the business of Congress right now. What do you make of Democrats warning President Trump on greenlighting NVIDIA's sale of H200 chips to China? Do you think the president should approve this sale? There's a lot of talk about it right now.
Well, certainly, I think that with the announcement that we had the 4% GDP growth in the last quarter is an indication that the president does have his hands on not only international issues, but also national issues. His economic team is performing well, and they do need to make sure that the issues that we're having with China play out properly with NVIDIA, not only for their ability to do business, but also to make sure that China is not getting from other countries who are certainly buying NVIDIA products going to be a part of this new AI battle. I believe the president's doing the right things. I have great confidence in him. We do have to remember that for AI to work, there have to be customers, there have to be markets available. But the president has done, I give him an A+ from not only the ability that they have with financial markets, but that they actually have in fiscal policy. Fiscal and monetary policy are very important, and the monetary policy is political, and I think the president is doing very well in that and recognizes the competitive forces.
Moving from the White House to the halls of Congress, one of your colleagues, Representative Jasmine Crockett, from, of course, Texas, she's warning that she can see the government shutting down in January. You think we're going to get another shutdown?
Well, she and her fellow liberal socialist AOC drive a lot of the marketplace answers for that party. They want a government shutdown, but we know, we've learned in the past, it's not just in our muscle memory, it's current, that if we do not get 60 people to vote for this in the Senate, it's going to continue. So she is trying to send signals of where she would be. She would be for shutting down the government, denying people, many people who need to have government benefits and resources. this life-saving effort. So Republicans are well aware of it. We have to do our job. We have to come up with what I believe can be a health care plan that's not just for the 20 million people who are on the Affordable Care Act, but 120 million people that do not have employer-provided health care. I am confident that the Republican Party, working with the president who has set goals in mind for us to achieve, are very much in line with a piece of legislation that I've had for a number of years, and that is to allow people who are in the tax code to be able to have a tax credit to help them buy health care, very similar to employer-provided health care, which gives health care providers 50% more money, reimburses them 50% more, so it opens up a robust universe of people to take care of their health care needs. I'm very excited about what I think our party and the president are looking at to make this better for 120 million Americans, not just a few people on the subsidies.
Well, and I think just to kind of put a bow on it, we do have to run, Congressman, but I do think that opening up competition across state lines would be good, not just to basically salvage what is left of the Affordable Care Act, but also take the burden off of taxpayers. That and maybe some tort reform, because a lot of lawyers have made a lot of money for years suing doctors and insurance companies and hospitals, and that's got to end. Real quick.
That could be true, but you still pay for the insurance where you use it, and you can't buy Texan can't buy something from another state because they would not use in another state. So that's why generally this is not seen as being an answer. The answer is to have people receive the tax credit and pay their part of health care, but to be in a system that reimburses more money to a health care provider that provides the kind of.
Hey, fair point, fair point. We've been talking about this for years. Congressman Pete Sessions, sir, thank you so much. It's great to have you, of course.